Hi again. This is part 2 of the HAL 9000 build. Where I left it last time, I was having problems with the sink marks in the face of the unit. Now, originally I was thinking I might have to sand them out and sand the whole finish off and then refinish it. As it happens, I ended up taking a chance and I gave it 3 coats of grey primer. I mean, the primer I use is an automotive primer. If you're in the UK, you'd be familiar with Halfords, and their rattle cans. You know, their spray paints are probably the best paints I've ever come across in a spray can. And their primer is absolutely fantastic. It beats all the other primers that I've used easily, and it tends to be quite a high build primer. And I was a little bit worried about losing the finish on this, the sort of brushed steel effect. But in fact, even after 3 coats of primer and 2 coats of matte black, you can still see the finish. You can see it on the if I tilt it slightly there, you can see the finish is still there. It actually looks much better to the eye than it does on the webcam. So I went ahead and finished it, and obviously gave that a day to dry, then masked it off, sprayed the outer frame with an aluminium colour. This grill is a sort of contrasting aluminium. It doesn't really look like it on the camera, but there is a slight sheen difference there. I'd already painted the outer ring with the Rust-Oleum chrome, which gives a sort of polished aluminium effect. The inside of the lens, which isn't quite finished yet, has had 2 coats of primer and then 2 coats of matte black, and then that was masked off, and the outer ring of that piece was given a coat of satin black, and then I've put the decals on. The only thing remaining really is to fit the lenses and to sort out the base. Talking about the base, I did hit a snag in that I sprayed this up black, and then I was going to pick out the letters in white, and it was going really well, and then it all kind of went pear-shaped. So I've rubbed that back again, and I'm going to try another technique. Maybe tomorrow I'll need to spray this black again first, and then I'll pick out those letters again, but more on that later on. What I've done for now, all this is assembled now. You can see, if I hold that up there, you can see the writing on the edge of the lens, and what I mentioned on the previous video. I could try and get it in the right way round. It'll be that way, won't it? You can see that extra letter on the end of where it says Nico, to make it say Nicor or Nicor. I think it's Nicor, I'm assuming. So the R comes off that extra word, which was the reset, and you just got to be careful lining the letter up, but there it is. So that's all been put on now, and coat of satin lacquer over the top. I've fitted the LED. If you have a look in the back there, you can see the LEDs fitted in the center. I've also fitted the speaker into the speaker grill. All of this circuitry and switches and things are going to have to be extended so they run through the base. So I'll sort that out tomorrow. I'll have to resolder some of the connections. But if I put it down and switch on the eye, there's the eye on. Again, it looks perfect to the eye. The camera maybe makes it look a little bit too bright and a little bit too white, but it is that pure red color that you see in the movie. Also, the speaker's now working.
sure you'll agree there's some truth in what I say.
So, you know, the sound's working, and it sounds really great coming through the grill there. So the LED runs off a 9-volt battery. The sound runs off 3 AAA batteries. So I'll set all that up under the base. The only thing really left to do with this is to fit these lenses. Now, I've taken them out of the bag for now just to sort of examine them. And obviously there's a center lens goes in there, and then this larger one fits over the top there to give you the dome. They're super clear. There's absolutely no faults in them. There's no flow lines from the molding process. They're absolutely perfect. What is interesting is that the remaining sort of sprue points that are attached, they're undergated. So that means that the actual attachment point is on the bottom edge of this dome. It doesn't, like a lot of molded parts where it goes to the edge of the dome and you always end up with that tiny little sort of white spot on the side. If you're very, very careful with these, as you remove these points, you can then very, very gently just sand that bottom edge of the dome, and it'll lose any attachment point there, and it'll be perfect. It'll look like a piece of glass. What would have been nice, and I don't know whether anyone will come out with this maybe in the future, would be to have an option to obtain these 2 pieces in glass, because obviously long term it's either going to have to be kept somewhere where it's not going to get dusty. I mean, obviously the internal one's going to be fine, but the outer one, you know, if you wipe it too much, you are going to end up with some scratches in it. I may actually give these a dip in some future polish and let them drain off, and that'll give them a little bit of protection. But they do look perfect, really. So essentially, I mean, I'll do one last little video where it all connected up to the base, but that's it really. There's not too much to say about the painting process. You've just got to be pretty good with your masking, and there's a couple of tiny little points. You can't really see them on the camera, but there's a couple of points there which I might just try and run a tiny amount of thinned black in. There's like a very, very slightly rough edge which I tried to clean up with the scalpel, but it's not having it. So you can't really notice it, to be honest, but it's just my OCD's picking that up. But the main point of this is that you need this contrast of finishes. You know, you need the slightly shiny edge, the dead matte face to this, the matte interior to the lens, the semi-gloss or satin finish on the outer part, and all those different combinations look like it's made out of different materials and not just out of, you know, 8 pieces of plastic. And I think you'll agree that the addition of the voice is probably the best thing you can do with it, because although the lens is quite nice with the red eye, it is a little bit of a static model otherwise. There's all kinds of people have been talking about possibly connected up to the Alexa system and things like that. I don't know whether it's possible to change Alexa's voice to sound like Douglas Rain, but you never know. Somebody might come up with some way of doing that. But I think possibly that might be a bit too creepy for me, having HAL commenting on you know, everything I do in the house. So you know, but as a kit, I mean, I've heard about people complaining about this kit because it's they think it's expensive, and you know, I mean, it is a niche market. This it's never going to sell millions of copies of this. So even if they made it super cheap, apart from the fact that the quality probably wouldn't be as good, they'd all end up you know, not selling, because not everybody wants a kit of this. And if somebody had told me, you know, even 5 years ago that we were going to get a kit of the HAL 9000 terminal, I'd have just thought, well, okay, maybe in resin or some kind of limited run thing, but not a mainstream kit. So I think Moebius needs to be applauded for releasing these kind of things, because I mean, I'm sure we're all fans of the movie, but in my daytime job as a teacher, I'm sure if I spoke to my students and asked them about 2001: A Space Odyssey, 99% of them wouldn't know what I was talking about. So it's not something that's in the mainstream now. So as I say, that it's to be applauded that they come out with kits like this, and I think it does represent good value for money. You're getting essentially a full-size prop, and obviously they are cheaper in the States at about half the price of what you pay here. I was lucky that I picked this up as a scratch and dent, with the damaged box, so I did get a fair price on it. But I think even at the UK price, it's worth having. So I'll finish there, but I'll do a final little review once it's all up and running on the base, and show you how I've gone then. Okay, thanks for watching.